estate planner. Today we're heading up to Bellingham, Washington. It's one of my law firm's offices up there, and we're gonna just see some folks up there today, enjoy the rain as is normal here in Washington State. So we're getting caught up now, I guess, on our rain. We didn't have that much in the fall and early winter, and now here we are just entering January, and we're starting to see quite a lot of rain. So we got about a 30-mile drive ahead of us here to get from the Mount Vernon vicinity up to Bellingham, Washington, which is north of here. It's up towards the border. Those of you watching probably know exactly where it's at, but there may be from time to time someone popping in that is not from Washington and would like to know where we're located. So estate planning 101 as I merge onto I-5 here. Some people, if you've never had any estate planning done, you wonder what is it? What is estate planning? Well, it can be a lot of different things to different people. A lot of it depends on your circumstances and situation. Everybody's unique, as we know. But estate planning generally is getting your estate set up so that you are well protected in the event of some catastrophe. One of the main ones being that sometimes we pass away. I'm here on the highway today. I could end up having an accident, which I hope doesn't happen. But these things do happen, and we want to have our estate planning in place so that if something unfortunate like that should happen, that we are prepared and that we've set up our estate to take care of our loved ones appropriately, and that whatever happens in the event of something like that happens the way you want it to, and not the way maybe that the law says it's got to happen if you didn't have your own estate plan. So this becomes especially necessary when you're married, for sure. If you're married, you want to make sure that you're looking out for your spouse, you're looking out for your children, if they're adult children, that they're taken care of, if that's what you want. Maybe you don't want that. Maybe you want to make sure your spouse gets everything. That could require some estate planning. So another thing that people that are younger look at is who's going to take care of my children. So if you have minor children, estate planning is usually something that you do pretty quick once you get married, because you want to make sure that you and your spouse have a plan for what happens if, right? It doesn't happen that often, chances are remote, but sometimes couples can be involved in accidents together, right? And if that happens, if both parents were to pass away, what happens to the children? Where do they go? Who's going to be their guardian? If you don't decide, the state will decide for you, for sure. But if you want to have a say in it, if you and your spouse want to have a say in it, then you should have an estate plan. So you should have that set out in your will, most likely, where you would put that. So things that are unfortunate that happen to all of us eventually, right? I mean, we don't know what the future holds. Hopefully we live long and prosperous lives, but when we get to our senior years, the chances start to go up that something's going to happen, and that's another point when estate planning is key. At that point, it's nearing a must-have, right? I mean, you're getting older, you're maybe nearing retirement. These are times when estate planning should be conducted. And if you already have estate planning that's been done, you have documentation that's been put in place, and then it got put on the shelf, and it's been sitting there for 5 or 10 years, it's probably time to revisit that. So that's a good time to drag it out, dust it off, and start looking at what needs to be done here. The laws change, people move, situations change, your assets change, what you own, your heirs change over time. You know, you may have kids, and now they've had children, and now you've got grandkids. You have to decide what you want to do in the instance of that. Do you want to set something up for your grandchildren that lasts beyond your lifetime, so that you have a say in when they might receive their inheritance from you, or maybe not receive their inheritance from you? It's up to you. See, those are the things that with proper estate planning, you're in charge, you're at the wheel, and your plan gets to be implemented when you pass away. So there's a lot that goes into it, and you know, the more it gets a little more complicated, the more wealth you have, right? I mean, the more wealth we accumulate, the more assets we have, the more investments, maybe more property, real estate, artwork, business interests, all those things that may need to be passed on to the appropriate beneficiary after you're gone. So all of those things need to be planned for, and there's some of us that are planners in life, and we don't leave such things to chance. If you do leave it to chance, then there's a pretty good chance that things aren't going to turn out the way you wanted it to. The law tries to guess at what your intention would have been had you had a will, but often that's incorrect, because not everybody belongs in the same box, and that's what it does. It's when someone doesn't have a proper estate plan, there's a lot of times the intestate statutes are applied, and those will 9 times out of 10 get it wrong. They may get it partially right, but there's a good chance of something's going to fall through the cracks, or something's going to go where you didn't want it to go. So it's a good time to go ahead and take a look at that. And it, you know, estate planning provides peace of mind, right? I mean, you can sleep at night knowing that your family members are taken care of. They're going to be looked after. Money or assets are going to be distributed to them at a time when they may need it. If you would like, you can set up ways that those assets are managed.